And then you guys are more than welcome if you want to turn off your cameras to feel more comfortable. Up to you. I know we're taking a quiz, so You have about 18 more minutes left, but I'll let you guys know when we get to like that 10 mark too. And then we have 10 minutes left. And then there's 5 more minutes left. All right, and then there's just 2 more minutes for everybody who's just wrapping it up. All right, and then time is all right. Time is up, you guys. Hopefully that wasn't so bad. But we'll go on a little 10-minute break. When we come back, Jane is just gonna hop on. He has an announcement to make, I suppose. So we'll kind of see what he says, and then we'll just do a review of the quiz by just going over it, and then we'll jump into the fun stuff. So we'll call it it's 8:30 my or 8:20 my time right now. So just come back in 10 minutes. So make it the 30 mark for you guys. All right. See ya. Brett, where do you live?
Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, okay. So it's like nice and warm probably over there.
Yeah, it was I think like 76 today, maybe a little warmer.
Lucky.
Yeah,
Lucky. It's a
yeah.
little chilly down here in Florida.
Where are you in Florida?
I am in Daytona Beach area,
Okay.
so about an hour like northeast of Orlando.
Yeah, I used to live in St. Augustine. I been to Daytona Beach a
Oh,
bunch of times.
okay. Yeah, St. Augustine. Very, very pretty. I like it over there too, especially like the
Yeah,
night of lights and everything. Yeah,
yeah,
that's cool.
yeah. Florida. I had a lot of fun in North Florida when I was there.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's awesome. All right, let's see. I think everybody's making their way back. Let's see. Jaden should be on soon. I think he might just be making the announcement about ADX, and I saw that he made an announcement about that about being due on February 6th. So
Yeah.
hopefully you guys took it or are taking it. Oh, Jaden, speaking of you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, perfect. Yeah, just one final remind. Well, we'll probably get a few more reminders, but yeah, Friday is the deadline for the ADX. So, I think vast majority of the class has it done. I think there's only a handful that are still working on it. So, nice job, everyone. And yeah, I sent a few messages out to everyone just to see where they're at. If you haven't got it done or if you haven't uploaded your ADX results, so please do so if you got those already done. And yeah, that's coming up fast, and we're already halfway through the online portion
Yeah.
of the class, so that went way too fast. Um, so we're looking forward before I know it being St. George hanging out with y'all, and so it's gonna be great. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me. So if you have any questions, please just let me know. And oh, um, one other thing, I know there's a few messages about legal to go quiz 8. I'll fix that in a little bit. It looks like the quiz didn't get attached. So I'll do that. So yeah. Any questions or comments for me about anything? Anything I can help with?
I think I'm all good here.
Yeah,
Anybody
perfect.
have any
Awesome.
questions? All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you. All right. Awesome. So the ADX, yes, it's definitely interesting, that one, but once you guys get it all done, it's like a weight off your shoulder. So just keep on studying at that, and you guys are going to do really great. If you haven't taken it already, you guys are going to do really great. I promise. It's not, once you get in there, you kind of just see like the questions, especially if you've been using Shepherd Air, you'll kind of see that everything is the same, so you shouldn't have any problems with it. But awesome. All right. Well, let's just do a little bit of that review of the quiz that we just took. I believe that you guys should be able to retake it either like at the end of tonight or tomorrow. So just make sure that you guys do retake that, of course, if you got something wrong, but also, write it down in your notes as well. Just take lots of notes. And then soon enough, when you guys go in person, everything's just going to come together and you guys are going to be dispatchers in 4 more weeks. So, yay! Awesome. Let's see. So I am just going to hop on my other screen really quick. And I have the messages up in one of the boxes here, or on my iPad, so I can see if you guys have any questions, things like that. But we will just kind of go over the quiz a little bit. And then, like I said, we'll just jump into the whole like MECARS, TAFs, how to read them. I know you guys got a little bit of that on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right? Thursday, you guys did it? Cool. Awesome. So we'll go into a little bit more of that, and then we'll just go from there for the night. So the first question that was on the quiz is going to be, what does the acronym ISA stand for? So ISA. Does anybody want to answer that? If not, no big deal. I'll just say it, but
International standard atmosphere.
yeah, International Standard Atmosphere. Good job. Like I said, just take notes if you guys got some of these things wrong. This way, you can go back and review your notes and whatnot. So what temperature and elevation does ISA represent? We have 15 degrees Celsius at mean sea level. Everything is in Celsius, by the way, for like aviation. You won't really see anything with Fahrenheit when it comes to weather. So what is the primary and basic cause of all weather on our planet? Does anybody want to answer that one? Katie?
The uneven heating of the Earth's surface.
Awesome. And then name 5 different types of cloud formation. Who wants to name one? 5 people, name one. Who wants to go first?
Cumulus.
Awesome. That's one of them. What's another one?
Cumulonimbus.
Wait, which? Oh, yes, the cumulonimbus. Yes.
And then stratus too.
Stratus,
Cirrus.
yes. Cirrus. And then the last one should be rotor. Awesome. And then what cloud type is generally associated with thunderstorms? Anybody know? Is it airing or?
It is,
Like say-
yeah. I believe it's a cumulonimbus.
Yeah, cumulonimbus. Awesome. And then what are the 3 stages of a thunderstorm? We have the dissipating, the mature, and the tower/developing. So the cumulus. What are 3 ingredients of a thunderstorm? We have lifting, moisture, and instability. And then what are 5 adverse weather that are associated with a thunderstorm? Who wants to do this one? Or who wants to name one of the 5? We got rain. That's one.
Lightning.
Lightning, absolutely. We have
Updrafts
hail,
and downdrafts.
hail, and then updrafts and downdrafts. Awesome. And then what are 2 indicators that can help a pilot recognize that they may be flying into a microburst? So it's going to be the increased headwind followed by strong tailwind. And then 4 different types of fogs. We have steam, advection, radiation, and upslope, which the most common 2 is going to be like the advection and the radiation that you'll probably get asked on your practical, just as a heads up. But just know that there are those 4 types and what they are. And then what type of fog is associated with a warm, moist air coming into contact with a cold surface? Does anybody want to guess or answer that one? Michelle?
Yeah, you said it right. Advection.
Perfect. You can see the hesitation on my face.
Yes.
Awesome. If I say your guys' name wrong, just correct me. What are 3 types of structural ice that can form on an aircraft? We have rime, clear, and mixed. And then name the different types of frontal systems. So we have the warm, cold, occluded, and stationary. And then what 2 effects can icing cause to an aircraft in flight? It's going to be increased stall speed and increased drag. What is the temperature elapse rate? So temperature decreases 2 degrees Celsius for every 1,000 foot of elevation change. And then select all the weather that can cause surface visibility restrictions. So we have right now that big snowstorm happening, or it did happen. We have dust, rain, mist, fog, smoke, and haze. There's a fire over by me right now. So in the Daytona meter, it says the abbreviation for smoke, which I'll show you guys if it's still in there. And then which 3 of the following changes typically occur after a frontal passage? We have change in temperature, shift in wind direction, and change in air pressure. If I'm going too fast, also just let me know. In an area of low pressure, winds move in what direction? Does anybody want to say that one? Want to give us the answer? We have inward and upward and counterclockwise. And then in an area of high pressure, winds move in what direction? Which is going to be downward and outward and clockwise. What kind of weather can we expect from a cold front? We have unstable air, gusty winds, drop in temperature, and thunderstorms. And then what kind of weather can we expect from a warm front? We have the opposite of that. So it's going to be stable air, stratiform clouds with steady light to moderate precipitation. And then what kind of weather can we expect from an occluded front? It's going to be strong winds and heavy precipitation. What kind of weather can we expect from a stationary front? It is prolonged periods of cloudiness, light rain, or drizzle. What type of weather can occur when the dew point and temperature converge at the surface? It's going to be fog. What type of weather is typically associated with a high pressure system? We have clear skies and dry weather. And then with the low pressure system, it's going to be the opposite of that, which is going to be cloudy and stormy weather. What is the main difference between air mass thunderstorms and frontal thunderstorms? It's going to be air mass thunderstorms develop and dissipate pretty quickly. They're generally motionless, and easier to avoid. And then the frontal thunderstorms, they're long-lived. They move along a cold front and they're harder to avoid due to their larger area. And then in which part of the atmosphere does almost all the weather occur? We have the trough. And then what is the definition of icing conditions? Visible moisture and a temperature of 10 degrees Celsius or below. What's the definition of a ceiling? It's going to be that lowest layer of clouds, which is usually identified by broken, overcast, or vertical visibility. So when we go on to like doing the METARs and the TAFs, if you see something that says like few, that's not a ceiling. So just keep that in mind. What is a weather front? It's a boundary between 2 different air masses. What is the difference between an MEL and a CDL? So MEL is going to affect the equipment on board, and the CDL affects the non-structural external parts of the aircraft. So CDL outside, MEL is inside, is how I always remembered it. According to the FARs, what are 3 things the dispatcher and PIC are jointly responsible for? Who wants to answer that one? Anybody?
Pre-flight planning, dispatch, release, and OIS.
Perfect.
PPDD.
I was gonna say, drill that into your brains because that's something that you definitely are gonna need to know. All right, so determine if you're legal to go and if a destination alternate is required. So it's legal to go, but an alternate is required. Which one doesn't one is an alternate required? Anybody? Katie?
It's the 1, 2, 3 rule. So plus or minus an hour from the ETA, you need 2,000-foot ceilings and 3 statute miles visibility.
Perfect. Awesome. And then next week, you guys are going to be like, you'll be going over that as well, like as far as takeoff alternates go and stuff like that, and being able to like read like the approach plates and everything. So just keep that in mind. And then what is method 1 drift down? It's a takeoff at a weight that if an engine failure occurs anywhere from V1 to the destination, the aircraft will clear all obstructions 5 statute miles either side of an intended route by 1,000 until reaching destination, by 1,000 feet until reaching destination. So that is the quiz. You guys can retake it and you should retake it. I think if you don't get an 80% or higher, I would definitely retake it. Or if maybe you got an 80% or an 82%, whatever the case is, I mean, you're more than welcome to retake it, but make sure that anything that you got wrong, that you made note of it. This way your notes are correct. And then I think, does somebody have their hand raised? No. Okay. Perfect. So we are going to dig in to what is a METAR and what is a TAF and how do you guys read it? So on Thursday, when you guys went over this with, was it Ryan, if I'm not mistaken? Awesome. So when you went over it with Ryan, did you guys get like a little sheet that says like how it's broken up into, or like how a METAR is broken up into, like when you're reading it, what you're actually looking at? No? Okay. I'm going to just quickly link something down here for you guys just because it is kind of helpful to have it up, and then or like when you're at home studying, to be able to reference it, especially like when you get stuck on something and you're like, oh, like what is this supposed to mean again? So give me just 1 second because I did have it up here. Okay, this isn't the one I wanted, but I'll find the one and send it to you. So you'll have 2 of these. Okay, let's see. Just stand by. If you scroll down, like in between, or not in between, I'm sorry. If you scroll down halfway on that link that I just sent, it will kind of break things up as to like what each section of the METAR means. Something that I highly recommend reviewing when you're looking at METARs, when you're practicing these things. And then I'm going to just send you a couple of resources really quick. Just if you guys want to save them, have them. They're good resources, especially when, like I said, you're at home, you're studying, when you get into the in-person class. And for this class, we use the aviationweather.gov website. But while we were taking the quiz, I was kind of just looking at some stuff, and the FAA has a really cool, like, their own aviation weather, I guess you can call it, website. I think it's kind of cool. So you can reference both of them if you wanted to, kind of search a little bit on there, because it will show like on one page, like what the trending meters are and like the TAFs are, things like that. So those are good resources just to kind of look at. But we will jump right into it. So with a meter, do you guys know if that's observed weather, like if it's current weather or if it's a forecast?
Current.
Yeah, it's current weather. Do you guys know basically like what information it's giving us? So it's giving us like current weather, what's happening right now at that airport, right? But it's only going to be giving us like what the winds are doing at the surface, of course, what the ceilings are, what the clouds are doing, what the visibility is doing. It's going to sometimes like give us like a remarks section, which in this case, like you want to be able to read what those remarks are, but your main focus is really more as to what the visibility, what the ceiling's doing, what time was this put out, especially like when you're dispatching and determining if something's legal to go or not. And then with like the whole down the line next week when you learn about like the takeoff alternates, like being able to reference that and with the ceiling and the visibility if you need a takeoff alternate or not. But you'll learn about that next week. So it's basically just a snapshot of what is happening right now at the airport at the surface, especially for those winds at the surface, right? Do you guys know how long they're valid for or when they're issued?
They usually issue them every hour, like 10-ish minutes before the hour.
Yeah. So about every hour they're going to come out. Sometimes it may be a little bit delayed if it comes out, but usually is generally speaking like every hour, 50 minutes past hours when this will come out. And then we have a METAR and then we have a SPECI, right? Do you guys know what a SPECI is by any chance? So a SPECI is just going to be like something that has changed, like a significant changes that happen within that hour that they need to be able to say, oh, this was what happened. Maybe the visibility dropped from 10 statute miles down to 4 statute miles before they're able to publish another one, right? You won't really see it unless there's something, like I said, like significant happening. Maybe there was not a thunderstorm that they reported, and then within 30 minutes after they posted that METAR, or published the METAR, a thunderstorm rolls in, they'll issue a SPECI. So just kind of keep that in mind that there's 2 different types of METARs. And then how we as dispatchers use this METAR, right, is we're determining what the departure weather is going to be. We're not really looking at we are looking at the arrival weather when it comes to it as well, like at our arrival airport. We're definitely seeing if there's any alternate requirements are needed. Like I said, that takeoff alternate, and especially that landing alternate as well. For fuel planning, if the weather is really bad, I remember my time at Spirit, I went to go dispatch a flight out, put a little bit more on the fuel, but the captain didn't really think that it was a lot. So he called me up and was like, hey, I'm in Chicago, like it's snowing, we're gonna have like some more delays like on the ramp here, any way we can get more fuel on board. So it affects your fuel planning and then the legal and illegal conditions. And then they're issued every hourly, which is what we discussed. So when we're looking at a METAR, we're going to be looking the way it's broken up into, and I'm just going to pull one up on the screen and share my screen. Okay, give me 1 second here. All right, you should be able to see this in one moment. It looks a little bit blurry on my laptop, but hopefully it's starting to come together on your guys's. Okay. So when we're looking at a meter, right? And it's going to be on aviationweather.gov. I probably should have started off with that first. Have you guys taken a look into aviationweather.gov? Okay, awesome. Sometimes I kind of just like skip over something thinking, I'm like, wait a second, did they do this? Did they not do this? But if you go into aviationweather.gov and you scroll down, right, you can easily put in an airport code. So in this case, I put in Orlando. So when we're looking at the meter, and this one has a meter and a TAF that's included with it. So it's first going to say what kind of report this is, right? So up here, you see meter, down here, you see TAF. We'll get to the TAFs in just a little bit here. But then you're going to have the airport, so the ICAO code. So MCO is going to be Orlando. And then this is when it was published. So on the third day at 0053 Zulu, this is when this meter was issued. And if you want to change that into local time, you just got to subtract, I believe we're 4 hours right now that you would have to subtract from. And then it'll give you the local time. And then after the time and date that was published, it's going to give you your winds. So that 280 at 3 knots. So that's the direction. The 280 is the direction of where the wind is coming from and the speed. And then you have your visibility. So 10 statute miles is a pretty clear day. If you see clear, that means that the sky is clear from 12,000 feet and below. I also have another document I'll send you guys. And then here's that temperature and your dew point. So the temperature is 9 degrees Celsius, and then your dew point is -10 degrees Celsius. Your A, does anybody know what A stands for? It's going to be your altimeter. Oh, sorry, Chris, if you start talking. It'll be your altimeter. So 3036. And then here are your remarks section, right? So this is just going to say what type of system it is, which is the automated weather precipitation 2. The sea level pressure, if you guys just remember to put a 10 in front of that first number, it will be 1028.0. And then what your temperature is to an exact and what your dew point is to an exact. So your temperature is 8.9. They rounded that up. And then it should be 11 for the temperature. For the dew point, I'm sorry. So that's kind of like the breakdown of how to read a meter, right? So when we're going to go through this is, and what's also really cool, let me back this up. What's also really cool as well is on the aviationweather.gov, you can also pull up past reports, right? So if I want to know the past 2 hours, what the weather was doing down in Orlando, it will pull that information up. This is really important when it comes to the whole dispatching side of things, because we can see like, okay, the weather maybe like is kind of not like the best. Maybe it's like 1,000, overcast at 1,000, visibility's at 6 statute miles, let's just say. And we kind of want to see like, well, what was the trend doing? Like, is the weather beforehand? Was it something similar like that? Was it worse before? Is it getting better now? Or was it better? And now like we see a trend to where it's going to be going kind of downhill a little bit fast. But then we'll know like, okay, maybe this does need an alternate onto it, even though it meets that 1, 2, 3 rule. Maybe we should just add an alternate to it, just based on the trends, right? So this is a really important tool that you can utilize as well when you're dispatching, when you're kind of making those decisions as to, do they need an alternate, what the weather has been doing, especially if you know you have like a low pressure coming in a certain area, or maybe there was like a snowstorm. It's kind of good to use. So we have the meter, right? And then we have this guy. So when you first log into aviationweather.gov, you can scroll down and put your airport code in. Well, if you want to kind of just pull up any other one, you can go to weather at the top here and then observations. And then you should be able to just kind of see the different airports around, and then you can see like what the airport is, which is this is going to be Charleston, and you'll be able to see what the meter is doing. And if there was a TAF, I'm assuming you can, well, this will be like the trend for Charleston. So for tonight, though, what we're going to do is we're just kind of going to go back in the meantime. And right now, I just want 1 or 2 people to either put down in like the chats, maybe an airport that's near you, and we'll take a look at to what that weather is doing over in that airport. And then we'll kind of go from there. So whoever wants to put one in there. Okay, we got one. Perfect. So we got Idaho, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what that one is. So who wants to, can you just tell me by looking at this, right? What is the ceiling doing? And I'm also on, I'm looking at my laptop to the side here, so I can't really see you guys put like your hands up, raise your hand. So just take yourself off mute. And if you want to answer us, just take yourself off mute. Make sure nobody else is talking at the time though. And kind of just let us know what the ceiling's doing.
It's broken at 9,000.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the first layer. The first broken layer is at 9,000. Is there another broken layer on here?
Yes. At 12,000.
Perfect. Awesome. And then what's the winds doing?
Winds
Anybody?
No winds.
Yeah, the winds. Like what's the winds doing? Are they gusty?
calm.
Is it very
Yes.
calm? Perfect. Very, very calm. Awesome. So then when we're looking at this and we see that the winds are calm, it's broken at 9,000, broken at 12,000, and then the visibility is 10 statute miles, which guys, if you're going to land at this airport, do you guys think you need an alternate? I saw Chris with the thumbs down. Perfect. So yeah, you wouldn't need an alternate because it doesn't meet that 1, 2, 3 rule. And there's really no concerns, right? Like, okay, it's broken, but that's at 9,000 feet. The visibility is at that 10 statute miles. So I don't really see any concerns with it. But again, if you wanted to just pull up the past 2 hours and hit go, you'll be able to kind of see what the previous weather was doing.
There is the
So you have
maintenance
like
required, symbol. So can you find out what type of maintenance it is? Yeah, that's kind of my question.
Can I find out what kind? Yeah, I mean, I don't know off the top of my head like what kind of maintenance it is. I just know that it basically just means that this needs maintenance done. But when we go on our next break, I will make sure to see if I can find an answer as to what kind of maintenance needs done on it. And get back to you for sure when we go on our next break. Because that is a very good question. All right, let's see. And then I'm just going to pull up a couple more that you guys did, and we're going to start reading them. All right, so Cleveland. I think that's what Cleveland, CLE. One thing, I am terrible when it comes to like the airport names. I have to kind of look it up to verify that this is correct. Obviously, once you guys do go into the field and you start like, dispatching aircrafts out, you'll start to remember the ICAO codes and for what airports are what. So who wants to go ahead and read this one? Lakeisha?
I'll give it a shot. I didn't even look at it beforehand. I wish I would have read it first, but here we go.
Or
This is
do
the
you want to
METAR.
just say what the visibility is doing and if there's a sailing or not?
Sure. So the visibility here is 6 statute miles, and the ceiling is overcast at 1,300 feet. Looks like it's light snow, very cold.
Yeah.
Um,
Very cold. -6 degrees. That's cold.
how did I do?
Awesome. Yeah, no, you did really good. Overcast at 1,300, or if you want to say 1,300, that's fine. And then the snow, it's light snow. So if it wasn't, it would just say like, it would just be like if it wasn't, if it was just like regular snow coming down, like not heavy, not light, it would just say SN. But if it's heavy, you have that plus sign, right? And then if it's light, you have the negative sign in front of there. Does anybody know what time this came out?
One 51 a.m. on the 3rd.
Say that one more time.
I said 1:51 a.m. on the 3rd.
So it came out on February 3rd at 0151 Zulu. So you would have to, I'm pretty sure it's, what did I say? 4 hours that you subtract. No, I'm sorry, 5 hours that you subtract because 4 hours is daylight savings time. But let me see. Should be 4 hours. Daylight savings time is 4 hours, and then 5 hours should be if daylight savings isn't around. Who wants to tell me? Okay, so if it's the dew point and temperature, right? Since they're close together, it is snowing, but could something else occur if the temperature and dew point were together? And if it was, what is going to occur or what can occur? Like what type of weather? Perfect. Fog. Absolutely. Awesome job. And then what's the winds doing right now at this airport? What direction is the wind coming from and at what speed? You were just breaking out on that one. Can you just repeat that one more?
From the southwest at the knots.
So 220 at 7 knots. So when we're reading this, we'll say, okay, this is the METAR for Cleveland. If I'm wrong, if it's not Cleveland, please correct me if I'm saying it correctly. But this is the METAR for Cleveland. It came out the third day at 0151 Zulu. The winds are reporting 220 at 7 knots. 6 statute miles visibility, light snow, overcast at 1,300. Temperature and dew point is going to be -6 and -7. Your altimeter is going to be 3012. The remark section, of course, and then this needs maintenance. So by looking at this, do we need an alternate if we're landing here at this airport? Perfect. I see a couple of you guys with thumbs up. Awesome. And why would you need an alternate?
The ceiling's at 1,300. Needs to be a minimum of 2,000.
Perfect. Yeah. So even though your visibility, right, meets that the 1, 2, 3 rule, the ceilings does not. So you would have to have an alternate onto this one. All right, and then we are gonna do Peters, which is APC. All right, and then who wants to go ahead and read this one? To be in Napa County. I just looked that up, but who wants to go ahead and read this one from start to the end? Don't worry about the remark sections. So just from where it says meter to the altimeter.
I guess I will.
Go for it.
For Napa County, California, on the 3rd at 154 Zulu, wind is 170, 3 knots, 10 statute miles visibility and clear. Temperature 12, dew point 08, altimeter 3015.
Awesome. Perfect. And would you need an alternate on this one?
Nope.
Awesome. So right now, what I think, because we're going to jump into TAFs after we go over like the meters and stuff like that, we're kind of just going to break things up. So right now, I want you guys to take about like 5-10 minutes. We'll come back in 5 minutes and I'll see where everybody's at. But just take a couple of minutes and I want you guys to find an airport that has good weather, an airport that has like marginal weather. And if you can find an airport that's pretty bad in weather, we'll find that as well. So 2 airports the most, 3 if we can find that really, really bad weather, and we are going to review it. So if you go up here to the weather on weather.gov and you go underneath the weather tab, observations, you should be able to just kind of click around to figure out what has bad weather, what has maybe good weather, what has marginal weather, especially around those like stationary fronts over here. You might be able to find something, or you should be able to find something. High pressure, you should be able to find something good as well. But that's what I want everybody to do. Write down what you come up with, and then we'll take a look at it together. We're going to read some of those. So I'll give you about 5 minutes to kind of play with it. And then if we need more time, we'll say another 5 minutes onto that. How's everybody doing? Did you guys find some good airports? Still working on it? Thumbs up if you guys are. You guys still doing okay? Need a couple more minutes? I also found a specie that we're gonna go over in just a couple of minutes here. Perfect. I'll give it maybe another minute or two. Hopefully you guys found some good ones. And then if you guys did find them, just drop them and you wrote them down, just drop them in the tab or oh my goodness, not the tab, the messages. This way we can pull them up together. Okay, let's see. So, just want everybody to take a look on my screen with this whole specie that came out. I think this airport, I kind of just pulled up this airport, but I think it's in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm going to double check. Yes. Okay. So this is in Canada, this airport. If a specie does come out, it's going to say it up here. It will say specie. So if we're just looking at this, right, I'm not too sure what exactly changed. So I would have to go through like the previous ones, which I'll pull up in just one moment. But it's telling us that the winds, they're 140 at 4 knots, is 2.5 statute miles with a light snow, broken at 1,600, overcast at 3,100. And then the temperature and dew point is minus 9 degrees Celsius and minus 11 degrees Celsius. So if we pull up the past 3 hours and we kind of just look into it, it looks like the visibility definitely drops. So that was a significant change from 5 statute miles to 2.5 statute miles. The overcast layers stay the same. And then if you look at the time on this, so it looks like this one came out, the regular meter came out, right, at 0200 Zulu. And it said that the winds were 140 at 5 knots, 6 statute miles, light snow, broken 1,600, broken at 3,200, overcast at 4,100, lots and lots of cloud layers, minus 9, minus 11 for the temperature and dew point. And then if you look right above that line up here, they issued a specie meter. So something changed 3 minutes after they issued the routine one. And it looks like if we're reading it, the visibility dropped on it. So went from 6 statute miles to 5 statute miles. And then from there, it just kept on getting worse and worse. Because then another specie came out at 0214 Zulu. So just almost 11 minutes after the first specie, to where it dropped from 5 statute miles to 2.5 statute miles. So that's how you can kind of determine like why the specie came out, what may have caused it, and the trend of weather. That's kind of cool to see though. But all right, let's pull up some of these. Peter, I'm going to start with yours first. We're going to come back to the Napa one, just because we did read that, but also in the TAP, it actually has a good one. It has like one of those conditional languages. So we're going to come back to that one, but we'll go with the marginal one that you put. So KFAT. And hopefully you guys are kind of wrapping it up as far as finding some airports that are good, some bad ones. But all right, who wants to read this one? Anybody?
I can read it since I put it in, I guess. It's
Okay.
Cafe Teas, Fresno, California, on the 3rd at 15 I'm sorry, 0153 Zulu. No wind or light and variable. 3 statute miles visibility with haze. Also stating clear. Seems like a oxymoron there, but temperature 16.11. Altimeter 3018. Do you want the remarks? Interesting. Tower visibility. There was 4 with sea level pressure. 1021.9 visibility southeast. Looks like it's 2 statute miles with the exact temperature and dew point there.
Yeah,
Preset-
awesome. Perfect. Yeah, the temperature and dew point, that's to the exact on those. So yeah, I mean, it's saying that it's pretty hazy out, so that's obviously going to limit the visibility, right? You're not going to have like clear visibility. You don't have any clouds, which is great. But reading this, would you by just looking at this without looking at like the previous trends and whatnot, do you need an alternate? And this can go for anybody.
Not right now, but I bet you're going to pretty soon, being out there in the Central Valley with the typical foggy weather.
Okay. Now, since you wouldn't need an alternate right now, would you err for caution and add an alternate onto it?
Seems like a
when
good
you're
idea to me.
dispatching it?
Yeah, seems like a good idea to me.
Yeah, absolutely. In this case, I mean, it's not required, of course, but if we look up, this is where I would kind of maybe pull up like the past couple of hours to see what the trend has been lately for it. And I mean, it looks like it's just kind of staying at 3 statute miles with this. The winds definitely kind of died down a little bit as far as like the direction where it was coming from. But if we're just kind of looking at it, it looks like it stays at 3 statute miles. But I would probably just add an alternate to it if I'm dispatching it now, just kind of be more on the safe side, making sure like their pilots have, or if you're not going to add an alternate, just making sure that your pilots have additional fuel on board, of course, for if that does go down to like 1 statute mile, 2 statute miles. Awesome. And then let's see, you had a bad one. Just gotta scroll up for a minute. Okay, you had a pretty ugly one, you said.
Well, to Clint Eastwood there.
Okay, I was just about to ask you, because I was going to look up where these airports are, but I was just about to ask you. Yeah. So let's see.
They're all California.
Oh, they are? Are you in California?
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. Nice and sunny over there, I'm sure. Nice and warm. Well, maybe not right now, but okay, awesome. Who wants to read this one and tell us if you would need an alternate or not? And just remember, if you guys participate, it helps like reinforce everything in your brains. And it also helps you as well, like when it does come to check ride, because those nerves are going to be there, of course, but the more that you participate and, you know, you say these things out loud, the more prepared I feel like you guys will become. Because the examiners, they're just going to ask you any question. So you kind of just got to be prepared with that. I don't really like to call on people. It's not my style of teaching. However, though, we need people to participate when it comes to this. So, Katie.
Okay. I know we just said the airport, but I forget, but it's Kilo Lima Romeo's METAR, issued on the 3rd at 0215 Zulu. It's fully automated. Winds are coming from 320 at 5 knots. We have 5 statute mile visibility. There is baby rain, so mist. Ceilings overcast at 300. Temperatures 11. Dew point 10. Altimeter 3018. And then the remarks is that the automated weather system does not have a precipitation calculator.
Perfect. Yeah. And I like how you say it's baby rain because that's how I always remember that too. I think a lot of people do.
Talking out loud a little bit there.
And then would you say that you would need an alternate on this one?
Yes.
Cool.
So that's
And
pretty good.
because the overcast layer. Awesome. Let's see. Mohammed says he has a really bad one. I don't know if it's really bad, but all right. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, so this is a specie. We love specie, guys. So we're going to take a look into this one, and then we're going to see the trend of it, what maybe caused the specie to come out. So who wants to read this? Because we got to practice reading them as well, because that's big when it comes to dispatching and being able to understand like what exactly it's telling us, like reading it, because you will be asked to read something, I'm sure, on your check ride. So who wants to give this one a shot? And you can just, I mean, if you want to read the whole remark section, that's great. But we can just focus on where it ends before that remark section. Lakeisha.
Okay, I'm not sure what airport this is, but KBIS, especially for the third day at 0227Z. The winds are coming from 080 at 08 knots. The visibility is 10 statute miles. We have broken clouds at 1,000. Overcast at 1,600. We are at -8 for our temperature and -9 for our dew point. And then our altimeter is 30.20.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. And let's see. Let's pull up the last couple hours to see what caused this. All right. So here's the regular METAR. It came out on the third day at 0152 Zulu. It's the winds are 080 at 6 knots, 10 statute miles, overcast at 1100. The temperature and dew point are very close together. So you can expect to see some fog. I believe if it's within 4 degrees Celsius, you'll see the fog. So let's see. So that was the regular METAR. We go up to where they issued that specie one shortly after. It's going to be the third on 0211 Zulu. Winds stay the same. The visibility stays the same. That overcast layer does drop. So it went from 1100 to 900 now, which is why that specie came out. Nothing changed with the temperature and dew point, of course. And then it looks like they issued another specie on top of that shortly after as well. Third day, which is the one that we just read, at 0227 Zulu. Again, visibility stays the same, but then that overcast layer now went up a little bit, or the overcast layer went up a little bit, and then they have a broken layer onto that. So it was overcast at 900. Now those layers are kind of breaking up. So we have broken at 1,000 and overcast at 1,600, which is why that specie came out shortly after that. Awesome. So in this case, we see that the weather is kind of like, it's a little bit up, it's a little bit down, it's kind of getting worse. So I guess you can say, because now instead of having one overcast layer, we now have a broken layer and an overcast layer. So in this case, and of course it does fall below that 1, 2, 3 rule, right? The 2,000 feet, 3 statute miles. So we would need an alternate onto that. Awesome. And then we have some good weather on top of that.
I have a question real quick, sorry, before you move
Yeah.
to a different one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is reporting broken at 1,000, and then in the remarks, it's saying the ceiling's variable between 700 and 1,200. So my question would be, like, say that we're right at the cusp of that 2,000 foot threshold for the ceiling. So say like the main bodies, the main line says broken at 2,000, but then you have remarks that says, you know, from 1,800 to 2,200 or something like that. Is that remark section controlling in that sense, as far as legal to go?
That is a good question. I'm gonna reach out to Jaden with that one because that is a good question. I don't want to give the wrong answer. I would say no. It's if it's in a remarks, it's not controlling because you know it's. I would just say no, but I'm gonna reach out to Jaden on it to find out if it is control or not. If you do see that though, you would probably want to just kind of add an alternate onto it just to be on the safe side. Even if it's like if it wasn't required, let's just say, but you kind of just do see like that trend there. But when we go on break, I'll get the answer from Jaden and then we'll come back to that question. That sounds good. Perfect. Okay, so we'll go on to the next one. All right, so this is Airport TUL, which is, I'm not too sure, so give me 1 second. I'll tell you guys what it is.
It's Tulsa.
It's Tulsa. Awesome. So it's Tulsa.
Want me to read it
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
since I'm talking? So this was issued for Tulsa at the 3rd at 0153 Zulu. The winds were reported at 180 at 10, gusting to 19. 10 statute miles visibility, overcast at 23,000.
Yeah.
It's report team dew point 2, altimeter 3000. 15, nice weather. Gusty winds. but
Awesome.
nice.
Yeah, nice weather. I would not add an alternate to that. Very nice weather. Besides the winds, I guess that's kind of a bummer, but let's see. Katie gave us Fort Lauderdale. She's repping some Florida. All right, let's see. Oh, what the heck? Okay, hold on. Well, that was another airport. Okay, Fort Lauderdale. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one because it is a specie and it has a correction to it. So who wants to read this one? Brian. I don't know if you want to read it if you had a question. So
No, yeah, I'll give it a shot. Yeah,
Perfect.
so it's a specie out of Fort Lauderdale, issued on the 3rd at 0202 Zulu. It's I think that means it's a corrected, something's going to be corrected here.
absolutely.
The winds are from 330 at 6 knots. Visibility is 10 statute miles and we're clear. Temperature is 9 degrees Celsius. Dew point is -3 Celsius. Altimeter is 30.35. The remarks, it's either the ASOS or AWOS with the precipitation discriminator. And the true temperature is 8.9 degrees Celsius and -3.3 for the dew point. And this observation station, or whatever we want to call it, is requiring maintenance.
Perfect. Yes. Let's see. And then if you see, so just a heads up, with the minus symbol over here, like -03 degrees Celsius, if you see in the remarks section, in order for them to show if it's like minus or not, is the easiest way to put it, it will have a 10 in front of that number. So if you see like 8.9, you know, oh, that's the temperature. Oh, but wait a second, it's not 10 for the dew point because it's 3 up here -3. It's because in order for them to show it, it's going to be that, like to show that minus. So you're going to put a 10 in front of that number. So just a heads up. But let's kind of figure out why this got corrected. So I'm just going to pull up the last 3 hours on some of these. So let's see. All right. I kind of see clear as day as why this is corrected, but can anybody tell me why this got corrected?
Is it the wind direction?
Absolutely. It's that wind direction. So if we look on the meter that was issued, the winds were coming from 320 at 6. And then it looks like everything else stayed the same. 10 statute miles, clear, temperature and dew point were the same. Altimeter was the same. So it looks like the wind direction changed, or it may not change, but they just made an error on it, which is why they came out with that corrected meter. Perfect. Oh no. All right, let's see. I'm gonna pull up one more and then we'll take a quick little 10-minute break, come back, knock out some of the rest of them, and then we'll go into the whole tasks and reading tasks. So Betty gave us a couple. We have the airport ILM. I'm not too sure where that is, but
That's
I will look it
Wilmington, I
up.
think.
It's where?
It's Wilmington.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Who wants to go for this? It looks like this one's a good one as far as like good weather goes. So who wants to read this one? Anybody? Michelle?
Okay, I'll give it a shot. This came out on the 3rd at 0153 Zulu. No winds, 10 statute mile visibility, clear skies. Temperature is -3 degrees. The dew point is -9 degrees. Altimeter is 3031.
Perfect. Yeah. And I mean, you wouldn't need an alternate on that one. It's pretty good. There's no cloud layers and 10 statute miles. So we would not need an alternate on that. Awesome. So what we'll do is I'll just pause right here. We'll take a quick little 10-minute break. It's 9:43 my time. So we'll call it 55, just come back at. So I guess a 12-minute break, but just come back in 10 minutes. So at 55, and then we'll continue on. Awesome.
thing that I most about Northern California BDR is how fun the roads are. Really fun. I mean, this is one of the best roads I've ever ridden.
This route is enjoyable and diverse. It's cold, it snows in the morning, it's raining all day long. We're watching the construction route. It's changed over the last couple of years, and what I've heard, it's starting to experience it. I am used to this type of terrain in California, but it is a little bit different up here. Come over a crest, and it's just a whole new experience. For the last few days, if I wasn't, I was very close. Fun fact on the big part is at the end. There's a very bad way, and then the next section are pretty darn advanced. I've bouncing around a lot.
So much I love this section. Riding group stays here, waiting for the call from us to go. Like every BDR, there are going to be challenges. You have to be prepared for the unexpected. Got all the things, you're respectful for the whole range of doing all of this.
Yeah, you see a big smile on my face.
This is like Switzerland, California. First thing I've ever seen to it, it's just gorgeous. Stuff we have here in Northern California. We'll people will like, yeah, I don't think people know we have this stuff around.
The Northern California Backcountry Discovery Route starts at Mammoth Lakes, California, and continues north just a few miles south of the Nevada border. The route then heads due west over the Crescent Sierras to the western slope of the Range of Light, before turning north, traveling west of Lake Tahoe to avoid the desolation wilderness. The route follows the folds of the High Sierra through quaint historic towns, interspersed between southern travel two-track, gravel roads, and twisty tarmac, ending with one of the mountains just north of Alturas at the Oregon border. The route typically takes about 6 to 7 days to complete, and it's approximately 940 miles in length. Yeah, California, before we focus excited about, and I'm really excited to finally finish the second half of California, the northern end.
I think it's actually they're off the keep the longest it's developed. We're finally here filming it, and it's going to be a great deliverable talking. We've got some new characters this year. So we've got Richie Yu from BMW Performance Center. We also have Trevor Doniak from Zero Motorcycles. And I'm really excited to welcome Chris Fan to be my woman riding body. See how it goes. That's everybody. Trevor and I are riding that Zero GSR Access. Okay, so I'm going to do adjustments to the piece like we swap the chain kits or put the spoke wheel, non tires of course, with DPF handguards.
And then the aftermarket accessories that they a bit more aggressive. We're using anywhere from 100 to 120 miles of range. Yeah, I think that should be good.
I think it's a step in the right direction. This is where the industry is moving. I'm happy to be the pioneer. So I'd like to invite you to the country.
So when I showed up for this project, I didn't remember how many routes we have, so I had to count the stickers on the graphics. It was how you put it by your route. 13 routes ahead. I never would have heard that.
Today we'll leave here at Tamarack Lodge. We'll go to the official start. The route start to Mammoth Lakes is one of the preeminent ski resorts in the country. Amazing backpacking. The Sierras were right next to the John Muir Trail. I think once you come here to start the route, you'll most likely want to come back and visit this particular area because it's stunningly beautiful.
This is really beautiful wilderness that I've read about, but I've never experienced. So I'm happy to be here.
The view is amazing and the sun's out. I don't think it can get any better.
Yeah, here at Vista, we started in California. Every route. This area we chose, we could have the tremendous views of, and also of the Minarets.
We typically film our routes kind of in the summertime, but right now it's end of September. We are going to finish it beginning of October, and I'm a little bit nervous about the temperatures. We heard that there might be some snow, definitely a rainstorm coming through, and morning temperatures can be anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees. I've got my 0-degree bag, and I hope we're ready for this.
Crowd starts good, like right from the get-go. They're instantly on this incredible two-track with the best big bike multi-dudes I've ever seen. On some of the media, you get a little bit of that. But on this, you have like hours of that. It is super fun.
White team dialogue, okay? But we all try to different eye, and I'll try to get moving success. What's going on over here? That's how it's done. Okay, so we just went through a OHV area on this bigger bike. I was taking it slow, but man, it was so fun. It's so planted. It was really stable. There's kind of a lot of different modes for the type of riding that we do. In this terrain, I was in Canyon, but should have been an off-road. So yeah, I'll try that next.
So behind us is the Crestview Hot Shot Camp. Hot Shots were developed in the 1940s in Southern California to combat forest fires, and they really deserve our appreciation for getting out there fighting fires by hand. We're going to split the team up here. It's a place called Obsidian Dome.
Was full of a lot of obstacles, some unexpected, some that we can't. It's kind of like, but where like you're excited to get in on it, walk out, what are the moments talking about challenging that's that's what we're standing up here. That he comes to a lot of things in there. It was nice. And then we got some weeds. It's on my fire, right there, sketchy. We got sand coming out of my farm.
When we get to Bodie, you'll see nothing grows at Bodie except grass. Even though we're in Northern California, not in Fort Toy County. And so they needed a reliable source of timber to build a town, and that's not the closest stand of timber that they could get to build a town. The thing was, is it's still 30 miles to Bodie. And so what they did was they built a mill here to make the lumber, but then they built a narrow gauge railway from here all the way to Bodie. Now, how they got a locomotive here in the middle of nowhere at that time is just a testament, I think, to ingenuity and cheapness. On the banks of Mono Lake, we'll see some unique formations called tufa. The tufa are formed underwater when carbonates of the lake water come in contact with fresh water bubbling up from underground springs. A chemical reaction occurs, resulting in a type of limestone that forms a tufa around the spring. Now, what's even more fascinating is about 200 miles south of us are the Trona Pinnacles, a prehistoric representation of exactly the same thing that is happening before our very eyes today at Mono Lake. Any Clint Eastwood fans in the house? Okay, so in the 1973 release, Pipeline's Drifter, the opening scene.
All right, is everybody back?
Down this road to the town of Laga. Now, if you watch the film, you'll see an actual town there.
Perfect. And then Peter, just make sure you're muted.
But you'll notice there's no town there. That's because when they finished wrapping the film, they burnt the whole thing to the ground.
Peter.
Has a riveting documentary going.
Jaden answered me back, by the way, so I'll have the answer in just a moment here. And then as far as that, there's Peter. Perfect. And then as far as the whole maintenance sign goes, it basically, let's see. It just means that a maintenance check is required for one or more sensors. That it's not indicated for which one. It just means that maybe something is rather a fault with like the sensor itself for like the wind, temperature, precipitation. It may be malfunctioning, maybe some like snow covered it, things like that. So it doesn't really say what kind of maintenance is needed. It's just pretty much for which type. It's just pretty much a sensor that just needs to be taken a look at. And then as far as the question about if you have something that was reporting in the main body, and then you have the remarks section that had like that range for the weather, like for the ceilings. Jaden said it would not be controlling. If it was a range in the remarks, that just means that the ceilings are fluctuating. It's simply providing additional information. The ceiling that is reported in the meter is the current conditions and controlling. So great questions. I hope that clarified it. All right. Oh no, you can't see my screen, can you? Okay, let's see. It's a little bit blurry on my side. All right, is it coming to life on your side over there? And when I say like coming to life, I just mean like it's not blurry anymore. Okay, perfect. Sometimes I just don't know if mine's like delayed or not. So I just want to make sure before we continue on with this. All right, again, we're kind of just gonna buzz through some of these, the rest of them, and then we'll go over the TAPs. They're pretty much like a METAR. It just is not current conditions, but we'll get into that in a little bit here. And then we'll just talk about a little bit about those conditional languages, like what you may see and what they actually mean. So we have, okay, we're going to continue on with Betty Sue's. We have CRW as one of them. So for this airport, I'll just go ahead and read it. So it came out on the third, or it's the third day at 0154 Zulu. The winds are coming from 230 at 6 knots. Visibility is 10 statute miles. Overcast is going to be 4,400. And then the temperature is -1, dew point is -9, and your altimeter is 3020. So pretty much this is a really good report. There's no concerns as to we may need an alternate on it. You don't need an alternate at all. It's a really good weather report. So we will move on to KSNY. And it looks like based on what I'm seeing on this one too, this airport is pretty good as far as weather goes. So who wants to take a gander at this and read this one?
Oh, go
Anybody?
ahead. METAR at SNY on the 3rd, Zulu 253. There's an auto report. It's coming from 330. Winds are 6 knots, 10 statute miles, clear skies, -1 temperature, and then -9 for the dew point. The altimeter is 30.17. And yeah, remark is
Perfect. You don't have to read the remark sections.
yeah, it was obnoxious anyway. I don't need it.
No, you're good. Awesome. And then Lakeisha had a couple. Let's take a look at the bad one that she posted. All right. So KMLP. Let's see. Ooh, this is a good one. Who wants to read this one? Who knows where MLP is? Guys, don't make me start calling on you.
Oh, I can read it. I do not know where MLP is. But let's see, on the 3rd at 0253 Zulu, it's automated observation. Wind is variable at 5 knots, 1 statute mile. Visibility with light snow, mist, overcast at 300. Temperature is -2. Merged with the dew point, also -2. Altimeter 3024. And then just the only thing in the remarks is that P with 4 zeros, I guess, means trace, like, you know, talking about the
Precipitation, the snow. Yeah. With the remarks, I mean, like there's stuff obviously that you're gonna see, like the whole after the P, there's that 60001 and the 53001. To this day, I don't even know what it is without looking it up, just because it's just something that I don't want to say you don't see. But if you don't, like, if you're not constantly seeing that, then of course you're gonna have to, you know, look it up, and that's okay. There is a cheat sheet. I shouldn't say a cheat sheet. It's a decoder, and it talks about what these are. I believe Ryan posted it on the classroom chat. But if not, I'll make sure to post all the resources that we're using today onto the classroom. This way you guys can utilize it as well. But yeah, so 1 statute miles, light snow, overcast at 300. So in this case, I mean, it's safe to say that you would need an alternate, I would say. If you disagree, let me know your reasoning, but you should not be disagreeing. Everybody should get into the mindset of this needs an alternate. It's definitely not legal with that one. Perfect. And then we have a marginal one that we will take a look at. So for this one, does anybody want to tell me what the visibility is doing? Kind of changing gears for a minute. Give me 1 second to go back there. Okay, Brett.
So visibility is 1.5 statute miles.
Perfect. And then do you guys need an alternate on this? Does it require an alternate? Alan, perfect. And then that temperature and dew point, it is close together. So what kind of weather may we expect as well besides mist? So your temperature and dew points, they're together or they're close by, they're within that 4 degrees Celsius. So you should be expecting some fog as well in this area. Let's see, we're going to look into more of the bad ones just for a moment. You guys are going to become weather experts on reading a METAR and a TAF. All right, Salt Lake City. I'm pretty sure this is what that is. Who can tell or who wants to read the METAR on this one? Katie.
Okay, so the METAR for I think it's in Salt Lake City. It was released on the 3rd at 2:54 Zulu. Winds are calm and variable. 10 statute mile visibility. Clear skies. Temperatures 3. Dew points -2. Altimeter 3036. And then for the remarks, it's the automated weather with the precip indicator, and then sea level pressure is 1029.2. True temperatures 3.3, and then true dew point is -2.2. And then I forget what those numbers mean, but then it needs maintenance. Something needs maintenance.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
I
about
don't
that number too.
say that again.
I was gonna ask about that number too. That 53010.
Let's look it up together.
I
Give me
wrote it down
one-
last week. It means a pressure change. I don't know how to read the exact numbers, like what that means, but it is a pressure change, I guess.
I got you. Let me look it up. We can look it up together.
Yeah, I think the 5 is the pressure, and then the 3 is like over how many hours, and I forget how you read the 010, but it's whatever the amount.
Okay, I got it right here. Let's see. Share my screen. Not that one. There we go. You guys should hopefully, I think Brian posted this one. But all right, we got the hourly precipitation, which was at P1. You have okay, so pressure tendency is the change in the 5 APP, the character, and a change in pressure. I'll ask. Yeah, I'm not too sure what they mean by that. If I'm being honest, I'll ask Jaden on that one, and then get back to everybody. But and then you have that other one where it starts with the 3, or it starts with the 6, excuse me, which is after the precipitation. But yeah, I'm not too sure what they mean by that. I'll get back to you guys though with an answer. Let's see.
Another thing about the maintenance that I put in my notes, if that $ is preceded by something like PNO, it would mean that the precipitation terminator is not operating. That's how if they're sometimes they'll put specific
Yes.
equipment before the $.
Yes, that is true. Absolutely. But if it's just a $, then it's just that something needs maintenance, but one of the systems. Awesome. Okay, let's see. We're gonna kind of skip over those good weathers really quick, just because we want to look into some of the bad weathers. Since it's already 10 o'clock. Okay. So let's see. For this one, for KCCY, does it have a ceiling? Is the ceiling reported in this one? Okay, I got some thumbs up saying that it is. Is the ceiling 700? Awesome. Perfect. Is it the ceiling 3,900? Great. Perfect. Yes. So just remember, scattered is not considered a ceiling. So only that broken and overcast and the vertical visibility is. Awesome. So in this case, the visibility is 10 statute miles, and then the ceiling is 3,900. So would you need an alternate on this? Perfect. We said no. Awesome. Chris, I know you put an airport on here. You said you've never seen on a TAF. We're about to jump into TAFs in about like 5 more minutes. I'm gonna
On a TAF or a METAR.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. I was gonna say, because we're about to jump into a TAF in like the next 5 minutes here, what it means, things like that, and how to read them.
Of course, it's changed since I saw it, but before
I can pull
it
it
had
up.
a minus UP, which is minus. It's like light unknown precipitation, which I thought was weird because it has it has a precipitation discriminator. Yeah, back on. Yeah, I've never seen the light up.
I haven't either at all, to be honest with you. What did you say that it meant? The UP?
It's unknown precipitation.
Okay. Yeah, I have never seen that. I've seen that. I saw that you guys learned something else too on Thursday that even Ryan has never seen. So very interesting, some of these airports. But yeah, I've never seen that either, which is, yeah, that's odd because then it says the rain, or not rain, I'm sorry, the mist over here, the baby rain. So that's very odd. But that's interesting. Awesome. So let's, who wants to read this one? We'll keep the airport the same, but who wants to read the METAR in this? Anybody? Brian?
Okay, so this was issued on the 3rd of February at 02:55 Zulu from a fully automated station, Windsor, coming from 080 at 4 knots. Visibility is 4 statute miles. Reporting mist, and ceiling is overcast at 300 feet. Temperature is -5 degrees Celsius, dew point -6 degrees Celsius. Altimeter is 30.15, and in the remark, it's the station has a discrimination precipitation discriminator.
Awesome. I know those are tongue twisters. But yeah, definitely. So I mean, in this case, you would legally need an alternate on this one. Awesome. So we are kind of jump into, we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna jump into TAFs over here. What am I doing? So, all right, with the TAF, is that what kind of, I guess, what is it reporting? I'm trying to not give away the answer, but you know how like a METAR is current conditions? What is a TAF? Like, what does a TAF report? What kind of conditions? Or not conditions, but like, is it current? Is it somewhere in the
Forecasting.
future? Perfect. I was trying to think of how to like say that without giving away the answer, but perfect. Yes, there's basically just like a forecast of like what the weather may be. Now there's some languages in a TAF that you'll see, like you'll see from, and then it'll have like a line of like what the weather is going to be at that time. It will say becoming, so like the weather is going to become this. You have tempo, which is, I always get the definition wrong on this one, so I'm going to look it up to like read word from word on it to let you guys know. But it's basically that there is weather that's going to be happening within a time frame, but it's going to last less than an hour, and it may not start at the exact time that it's giving us. So I'll get into that though once we kind of see that in a little bit here. And then there is a probability, like, so probability of like this may happen. So we're gonna jump into TAFs and why it's important. And now when you get to like the airlines, for example, there are certain like exemptions that you'll learn about, because if you see something that's like if you're coming in at a certain time, right, and that time falls into the tempo line in a TAF, legally you can't dispatch the flight out. But there are certain exemptions that you could dispatch it, but that's something that you'll learn on the actual job. They're not going to ask you that at all when it comes to like the practical. So I'm not even going to say any more about that. Just know that if you see a tempo, you can't dispatch that aircraft out if you're landing in that time frame. So just know that. So let's see. I did have some good ones that I was looking at earlier. I wrote down. Okay. I think it's, oh, no, where did it go? Okay, perfect. I don't know where this airport is. It's somewhere in Canada. That's all I know. So at the top here, you have your METAR, right? But we want to kind of focus on the TAF. So I'm just going to get rid of that METAR mark and put down TAF. So does anybody know how long a TAF is valid for? "24 hours." Can it go more than 24 hours? Perfect. Yes. So it can be valid between 24 to 30 hours, and it's going to say it in the main body. So as you can see, where it says TAF, this is what we call the main body here. And then, which is basically just going to tell us like, hey, this TAF is going to be valid from this period to this period. This is what the weather is expected to do almost within that time frame. So we also have the tempo line, the becoming line, the from line, and the probably line. So this is what I was talking about earlier, just a couple minutes ago. So for this one, when we're reading the TAF, right, it's going to be the same thing as a METAR. So you're going to have what kind of report this is. If it's in this case, it's a TAF, the airport identifier, or the ICAO code, the time, the day and time that this came out, and then how long it's valid for. And then it's going to basically tell you your winds, your visibility, what the ceilings are doing. If there's any remarks, like in this case, there is. So for right now, this is saying that at this airport, which is in Canada, this TAF came out on the second day at 2340 Zulu. It's valid from the third day at 0000 Zulu to the third day at 1200 Zulu. The winds, they're coming from 130 at 7 knots. With the visibility for a TAF, they can never report if it's more than 10 or if it's more than 6 statute miles. So it's never, you're never going to see 8 statute miles. You'll never see 10 statute miles. But that P means that 6 statute miles or greater. So right now we know that it's 6 statute miles or greater on the visibility. There is some light snow, and then there's an overcast layer at 2,500 feet. Then we have that conditional language over here. So this is temporary. So there's going to be some temporary changes happening, and it's going to be between the third day at basically 00 Zulu to the third day at 0800 Zulu. There's going to be some type of weather changes that's expected to last less than an hour in this time period. So it may start right at the time 00. It may start at 00 or 020. It may start at 060. But we know that there's just going to be some changes happening. And those changes, they're going to be, the visibility now drops down to 2 statute miles. It's going to be light snow, and the overcast layer drops down to 2,000 feet. You guys with me so far? Thumbs up. Okay, cool. The tempo is always like the hard one to remember because of like how it, like you have to word it, but then becoming, so then become as on the third day at 060 to the third day 080 is going, the winds are just becoming 310 at 6 statute miles. So that's the only change that's happening here, right? And then the from line, this is where the weather now changes. So everything over here kind of is not going to be there anymore. It's going to be from the third day at 0800. This is what the weather is going to be doing. So it's going to be, the winds are 310 at 6 statute miles. Visibility is now going to be 5 statute miles. It's going to be light snow. And then there's an overcast layer at 1200. So from the third day at 800, this is what your weather is now going to become. At least it's forecasted to become, right? Because this is not current weather, of course. Then they're now saying that there's a probable chance, 40% chance that between, between between 080 Zulu to 1200 Zulu, the visibility now is going to drop down to 2 statute miles. It's going to be a light snow. There's going to be an overcast layer. Instead of 1200, it's going to be 800. And then I've never seen the remark section before in a TAF, but it's basically saying remark forecast based on auto observation. Next forecast by 030 or the third day on 0600 Zulu. So that's going to be the next forecast, basically at 6 Zulu. That's something else that's going to come out. The next forecast is going to come out. So that's a lot there. But basically, when we're looking at this, right, and let's just say you have a flight that's going to be coming in at 0900, right? Well, essentially, you will look at this third line here because, like, from 0800, this is what the weather is going to be doing. But then also we know that, well, between 8 to 12 Zulu, that there's a probability that what they forecasted down here is going to happen. But you will look at basically that line, that from, and then of course, you know, the probability of it to determine, am I going to need an alternate? Will I not need an alternate? So we're going to look into a couple more TAFs. We're going to read some TAFs. Does this make sense so far? Thumbs up. Awesome. Perfect. I'm glad you guys with me. Let's see. Okay, let's go back to, I know somebody had one here earlier. Stand by for 1 second. Kind of gonna cheat for a second over here. Okay. So let's look at this one. HON. I don't know where HON is. If you guys know, let me know. Otherwise, I'll look it up in just a moment. But who wants to read the first line here for the TAF? We're on the TAF, so I guess I'll get rid of the METAR. Anybody want to read the main body or the main line?
I'll read it.
Okay, go for
So on the second at 2337 Zulu from 0Z on the 3rd to 24Z on the 3rd, or basically that whole day. Winds are going to be from 100, 6 knots, greater than 6 statute mile visibility, and overcast at 1500.
Perfect. Yep. So it's valid for 24 hours, this TAF. Awesome. And then Aaron said that's in South Dakota. Thank you. I just picked a random airport. Let's see. So who wants to read the second line where it says that there's a probability?
I guess I can do
Anybody?
that one.
Okay, go for it.
All right, so there's a prop 30. So from the 3rd at 0100 Zulu till the 3rd at 0400 Zulu, there's a 30% chance that the visibility will be 6 statute miles. There's light snow and ceiling overcast at 1000.
Perfect. And then, okay, so then the last line where it says 1900, what's the winds doing? Anybody? What is the wind saying?
Is my mic on? The wind's decreasing.
Yeah, I mean they are, and then it's variable. So the direction that it's coming from is variable, and then that 6 statute miles, we know that's going to be 6 statute miles or greater. And then we have that broken layer at 2500. So it looks like if you kind of look at the TAF, it looks like we went from the overcast layer is at 1500, or it's going to be forecasted to kind of stay around there 1500. Then there's a probable chance that between the 00 Zulu to the 04 Zulu that the overcast layer is now going to drop. We're going to have some snow. But then as the day goes on, so does the weather. And now we go from broken to 1500 and overcast, or broken to 1500 to now it's going to be broken at 2500. So it looks like the weather is kind of starting to improve a little bit. But I would be kind of like a little iffy on there may be some changes. So if we were to dispatch a flight, there may be, that weather change that could still happen to where it can go, it can decrease, right? And that broken can go lower than that 1500 or lower than that 2500. So kind of keeping an eye on that, essentially, if we have a flight going there. All right, let's see. Who has another airport that you guys can find that has a pretty decent TAF? I'll give you 5 minutes to find an airport that has like a marginal to pretty crazy TAF. And then once you find it, just put it in the messages and then we'll take a look at them. Seattle, Alan, that's my favorite place to go. And you know what's so exciting? Is that my Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl. I don't know if you're from Seattle, but yeah, I know, I'm so excited. I don't know if anybody else watches football. Okay. Right. I have some good ones that we will go over. Okay, let's see. So take out Nashville for a second. I just kind of want to go over this METAR really quick because it has that the FZRASN it has that vertical visibility going on. So who wants to, or who knows what the FZRASN mean? What does that stand for?
Is it frozen rain and snow?
Yeah, freeze and rain with snow. Perfect. Awesome. So that's in Canada. I don't know, like Canada's just having the worst of the weather right now. But I also see that you guys put some good ones in there. So, and then we have on the TAF, which was basically for this airport, right? It's 3/4 statute miles and then freezing drizzle with some mist. Vertical visibility is 200 and then it has that tempo line. And then down here in that probability, you have half a statute miles, freeze and fog, which I don't know how you can get freeze and fog. Vertical visibility, and then the remarks. Non-representative. So Canada has some pretty interesting choices right now. But I kind of just want to show you that, just to kind of see the different like freezing rains and snow and whatnot that you may experience. So let's go to Nashville really quick, and then we're going to hit Seattle. All right, who wants to tell me in that probability line what it's saying for Nashville?
So on the third between 16 and 1800 Zulu, there's a 30% statute miles of viz, but light rain shower.
Light rain shower. Yeah, 5 statute miles visibility. Awesome. Okay, cool. So you guys kind of get the acronyms over here. All right, let's go to Seattle really quick. All right, so who can tell me how long this TAF is valid for?
$27 hours.
Third, fourth, 5, 6, 24, 25, 26. Wait.
8 plus 3.
Yeah, 27. Trying to do math over here in my head. Perfect. And then, so if you were going to dispatch a flight, because again, we're just talking about like if you need an alternate, if you don't need an alternate, when it comes to takeoff alternates, that's something that you're going to be learning a week from today. So we're going to be dispatching a flight out and we're going to be landing, let's just say on the third day at 12:30 Z. Do you need an alternate? Perfect. All right, let's see. And then what's the What's the clouds doing at 20Z? So 200 on the 3rd. Which is basically this last line, but what are the clouds doing? What's the reporting or what they're forecasted to be?
Overcast 10,000.
Awesome. Perfect. Told you guys, it's going to be an easy peasy night. Okay, so this little airport only has a main body, so nothing, they don't really have anything happening or forecasted. So it looks like it's valid for 24 hours. Who can read this for me?
I guess I can read it.
Sure, go for it.
It's the TAF for Kilo Mike Foxtrot Romeo. It was issued on the 2nd at 23:28 Zulu, valid from the 3rd at 0 Zulu until the 3rd at 2400 Zulu. Winds are variable at 2 knots, more than 6 statute miles visibility, and clear skies.
Perfect. Let's see.
I have a quick
How do you
question.
guys? Yeah.
Sorry, from one of the other TAFs. It had the minus sign, so for light, and then it said freezing rain and snow. Would the light be associated with the freezing rain or the snow?
Well, in this case, since it was reporting both, it should be both. But like, let's just say, because sometimes they'll have like both, but like only the snow would be light. So like they'll have it like FZRA and then like it should be minus in front of the snow if that was the case.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Like if I were to say light freezing rain and snow, they're not going to be like, that's not right.
No, yeah, they won't say that.
Okay, cool.
Let's see. I'm trying to, if I see one, like I'll keep my eye out like tomorrow to see if there's maybe like to find one, or maybe I can like pull one up from the last like 24 hours if I can see if an airport has one, and then we'll look at it for tomorrow before we begin tomorrow's like activities or in the beginning of tomorrow's class.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, okay. This one. KXNA. We have from the 3rd day at 0200. Who wants to? Oh my, hold on. Who wants to read? There we go. Who wants to read that line? So it's 2nd line. Brian.
Okay, so yes, starting at on the 3rd at 0200 Zulu, gonna have winds from 200 at 6 knots with greater than 6 miles visibility, ceiling broken at 20,000, and I'm gonna say this is a wind shift.
You're close.
Okay.
It's not shift.
20
What's
okay.
WS stand for?
Yeah, that's What went wrong?
Does anybody know what WS stands for?
So wind shear.
Wind shear.
Perfect. Wind
Wind
shear.
shear. Okay.
So then what does the 020 mean?
Is that the direction?
Uh-uh.
I
Or
think it
20
means
knots?
2,000 foot. There is a wind shear.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I know
And-
it's
and-
so it is a little bit odd when you see it because I've always in the beginning when I first started seeing this, I'm like, oh, it's wind shift. Like, yeah, it's wind
Yeah.
shift, but no, it's not. It's wind shear.
Wind shear. Okay. And so then after the slash, is it from the direction of 230 at 40 knots? Is that
Yes,
okay?
exactly.
And that's at
pretty
2,000.
kicking.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That is kicking. All right.
Right. We're
cool.
seeing some really good like reports though tonight because I don't typically see these kind of things. So we're seeing some good reports tonight, which is good. I mean, we are in winter, I guess. So it's good that you're seeing it now, especially like for check ride or for your practical, being in 5 weeks, 6 weeks.
So is
But
20,000
say that again.
So is the 20,000 feet altitude? I mean, not to that. Yeah, what's the 20?
The altitude. So it's 2,000.
2,000. What is 2,000 what?
And then the winds will be 230 at 40, or that's when the wind shear is going to be forecasted. Which I don't know how you can forecast a wind shear, but I guess you can.
Yeah. I guess one thing that threw me off was, I guess I've just always thought of the taps being at the surface. I didn't realize it could have a, an in the air component. But
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could. I always consider them the same as like a METAR, right? Like it's something that's being forecasted for that airport within should be a 5 nautical mile radius or 5 radius. 5 nautical mile radius of the airport. Which is, like I said, I never seen a wind shear in a TAF. I've seen it in a METAR before, which makes sense. But I haven't seen it in a TAF before. But that was very interesting, that one. Let's see. And then we'll just do one more. And then I think you guys are pretty much really good on like reading a TAF and then deciding if you need a alternate, if you don't need an alternate. How are you guys feeling?
Hey, quick question on the wind shear. Does that mean there's a 40 knot shear, 40 knot difference, or the wind's going to be that 230 at 40 knots, so 32 knot shear?
Well, the winds will be 230 at 40. So it's saying that it's going to be 40 knots.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is another good one. PASN, I'm assuming it's somewhere in Alaska because it has a P in front of it. But it looks like, let's see. So there was a question looking at PASN, wondering what CLD is at the end of the amendment. Does anybody know what that is?
it means cold. No,
It's saying that
it's
because
Alaska.
so that the amendment's limited to winds, cold, and clouds. Which are winds, winds, weather, and clouds. That's
what
there's
that,
an
okay.
amendment apparently, and it said that's limited to those things.
Okay, that's interesting. See,
okay.
something that I never saw before either. I was gonna say, like, if you saw a CLSD that's like closed, but like closed wouldn't make sense in a TAF or a METAR. When you look at NOTAMs, it will make sense, like something's closed. but I never saw the CLD before. So limited to wind, weather, and clouds. Okay, that's a very interesting one. What's the winds doing at this airport? Trevor, did you have a question?
Yeah, so would that be okay for legal to go? Does it have all of the? Never mind.
What?
I would think because
Well,
I was looking
because
at
you're
the,
gonna have the because they're still reporting, right? That two statute that they're still reporting the visibility, and they're still reporting that overcast layer. So I don't know why they amended limited to wind, weather, and clouds. I don't know what that's even supposed to mean, like how it's limited, because they're reporting that.
It's
Like they're not
it,
reporting it, they're forecasting it.
it's really not saying anything. It's saying that any amendments at this airfield are limited to those three things because it's not manually updated. So there's no human observer. It's kind of a useless line to put on there, really.
Yeah, because I was just like, how is a limit? I'm like, they're forecasting some visibility and the clouds and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know what they're even saying. But okay, that's good to know.
Because
But
no
yeah, I
humans want to
mean,
go to that location.
what happened?
But because no humans want to go to that location.
I mean, it's in Alaska. I would love to go see Alaska. But awesome. So you guys feel pretty good on this stuff then? The METARs, the tabs, reading them, the whole if you need an alternate, if you don't need an alternate, just the different things we've been seeing tonight, what they stand for. Katie?
I should probably know this by now, but I get a little bit confused. Like, I know that the tempo, the probability, and the becoming lines, I know that's conditional. Is the from line conditional as well?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, that I would say definitely know like definitely know tempo and like the probability, like what the definitions are, what it means essentially. Because those are like the big ones that you'll probably be asked during your practical. I'm trying to think what I was asked during my practical. I mean, my practical was kind of new. I mean, not kind of new. He was a new guy. But usually they last, I think, between minimum 4 hours, maximum 6 hours, if I'm not mistaken. Mine was about 4.5 hours long. But just if you've never taken like an FAA exam before, like a practical before, I don't know if anybody's like pilots or anything like that or controllers, but if you've never taken one before, just when they ask you the question, just give them what they're asking. And this is something that Allison, Jaden, everybody who you're going to see in person is going to drill into your head. Basically, just whatever they ask, just answer it. Don't give them any more information. If they want more information, they will ask you for information. But the examiners who they use, I mean, they want everybody to succeed, those examiners. So mine was really nice, and he told me if I didn't know the question, and I thought about the answer later on, or I thought about that question and answer later on, I can go ahead and just like let him know what that was, and then he'll give me the credit if it was correct or not. So that was really sweet of him. But Bruce, yours was 5 hours. What kind of exam did you take? Bruce. Okay. But yeah, so what we'll do tomorrow is we will review PIREPs. Let me backtrack this. We'll look at some weather like we did today, but just not so in depth. So we'll pull up just a little bit of weather that's going around you guys. We'll look at like if there's any pressure systems out there, just like a quick little overview in the beginning, of course. And then we'll do PIREPs, we'll do the winds aloft. We can do, I mean, it's pretty much going to be an easy day tomorrow too. We can do the study guide together. I don't know if you guys are in, whatchamacallit, week 4 study guides, if you guys have already completed that or not, but we can go over that together. I don't know which week you guys are on. Did you guys do week 3 yet? The study guides, like you submitted those?
Yeah, week 4 we just received at the start of class tonight, so I don't think we've done them yet, unless.
Okay. So we'll go over the study guide because I was looking at it earlier, just like a little bit, kind of just like browsing through and stuff like that. And it's something that we covered tonight's class on, and then we'll be covering tomorrow's class on. So we'll go over that just to make sure that you guys have the clear and correct answers, of course, for it. And then after that, let me see what you guys are going to be doing. Give me 1 second. I know Jaden shared it. 1 second here. I know Jaden shared it earlier in the chat. Let's see.
Hey Jen, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up?
Okay, I was just saying I was here in July. I'm a returning student.
You were here in July. Oh yeah, yours is 5 hours. That's what.
Okay,
yeah.
I think I lied. It was more like 6. Something like that.
6 hours. Who'd you have?
Oh man, what's his name? I forgot. He
mine
has a
was
little
Jake.
commercial. His little, I think it was Jake. He was hard on
Yours
me.
is Jake?
Yeah, he was hard on me though. Oh man, I
Oh.
thought I was gonna pass, but I did. So
Yeah, Jake was, I don't know how the other examiners were because, like, obviously I didn't take mine with
Jake
the
has
other
a long.
examiners.
He has the long beard, right? Not long beard, but he has like a gray beard. I can't remember.
He's really tall. That's all I remember from
It's
him.
Jake. Yeah, he's tall. Yeah, he was towering over me.
And he
Yeah.
works for South or SkyWest, or he did at
Yeah.
the time that I was there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same guy. Yeah, he grilled me real bad. So whoever gets Jake, good luck. But yeah, I did good.
No,
so.
don't say that. Don't say that.
No, no, he's
No,
good.
guys.
He's good. But good luck. That's all I gotta say.
No, yeah, it's like, okay, the mock was harder than the actual practical. Don't let
This is true.
don't let that scare you.
This is true.
That is true. Yeah. So like when he says like, oh, he grilled me on it, like just know that the mock is harder than the practical. So that's all I'm gonna say. Jake was very kind with me. He like I said, I can't speak for the other examiners, but Jake was extremely kind with me. He gave me the option as to we can start with all the questions, and then go through all the questions and then do the flight planning proportion, or we can do the flight planning proportion first and then do the questions, or we can kind of mix it up so we can do questions until I get really sick and tired of them or I need a break, and then we can do the flight planning and then go back to the questions. And I said, that's the one we're gonna do.
No, I don't want to
So-
scare anybody, but he was funny. Like he had me laughing. We were there for a minute, but he had me laughing. I mean, it was great. It was just your nerves are up, and they're you work all your life up to this. Well, not all your life, but the past couple weeks up to this, you're like, But it was great. Now he gave me a lot of opportunities to get through. He was fun. But
Yes, he's very, and they see that the examiners, they know that you're nervous, and they try to calm your nerves down. I mean, unless you know like the examiner and you have like a good relationship with them, they may joke around with you. Like completely side note, my examiner for commercial check ride, I have a very good connection. I have a good relation with him. And then the first thing he said was, when we got into the room was, so you're going to be my first pass of the day, right? And I'm like, why did you say that to me? My nerves are so shocked. Like practicals do not get easy. Check rides do not get easier the more you do them, but they're really good. They know that you guys are nervous and they want you to succeed. And I don't think anybody has missed missed the practical. So that gives you guys some good hope right there. But yeah, so tomorrow we'll go over the PIREPs. We'll go over when's the loft, very, very easy stuff. We'll go over ISA, why it's important, how to calculate it. And then, like I said, we'll do the study guide a little bit. This way you guys can just knock it out. One less thing you have to worry about. We'll do that together. And then the rest of the week, Dalen will be on Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to start the whole navigation. The big thing I can tell you about navigation is if you are new to aviation, you don't really have the aviation experience, like you don't have a background in it, essentially. Navigation is something that you want to just pay attention to, and it's something you want to make sure you're asking questions after questions after questions, especially if there's something that's just not clear. Make sure you get a clear answer on it. And make sure you're taking lots of notes on it, because he's going to go over everything that has to do with navigation, as far as like true course, true heading, the whole ILS, the whole types of navigation, so ground-based versus satellite-based, stars and STINs. You're going to go over approach plates as well. You're going to go over those low and high chart altitudes. So definitely make sure you're taking lots and lots of notes. If you need to resort back to rewatching the videos, make sure you do that. I will also, I'm sure Dalen has some really good resources to follow along with, but I'll post them throughout the week for you guys. Just something that kind of breaks everything down that I've learned with my, especially going through instrument training for flying. It helped really well, and it relates to everything you're going to be learning here anyway in the next couple of days. And then after that, I mean, it's pretty much, you know, how Friday is, review days, and then into the next week is going to be the whole NOTAMs and the whole navigation still, and then route building. So you're almost there, almost. But does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, hesitations? Riley?
I was just curious if you knew the names of the other examiners.
I do not, just because it's been so long. But you know what? I'll find the information out for you for tomorrow. I'll ask Jaden. I'll find that information out 100% for tomorrow, what the other examiners are. I know there's a woman. I just can't remember her name, but there's one woman there. And then the rest are kind of guys. I think Garrett, he's part of the course, but I don't think he might do exams. He might do the practicals because he doesn't teach.
Was it
So I don't know if
Emily
he
by
might do-
chance?
Garrett's definitely one. I remember that.
Garrett's
name.
one. Emily sounds familiar. Do you know, Bruce, if we have an Emily? Emily
It does
sounds
sound familiar. I
familiar.
don't want to say yes or no.
Yeah,
Actually,
it
I
sounds
do know
familiar.
somebody from my class did have the woman. I'll text her and ask her. It might be her.
Perfect. And I'll get the list of them tomorrow for you guys for the first of class, the beginning of class. Any questions? Comments, concerns? You guys having fun yet?
little bit, but it's still the wind shear part. It's stuck in my head, right? Because I still don't know what that 20,000 means. Like, is it
The altitude, let's see. Let me see if I can pull up just like maybe more of a definition so it's not so broad. One thing about me is I love my resources. Because you know, especially when you like are on the job or you're in the practicals and stuff like that, they can't ever say like, where'd you get that information from? Like, oh no, that's wrong. You're like, no, it's in here. It's per the FAA. Let's see. NA. Okay, hold on. I think I might have found the resource. I just want to make sure it's credible before I show it. Okay, well, if you look at, I posted, okay, I posted this one in the chat from earlier, but right here where it says that wind shear, and then it says it's the forecast explanation. So in the US, to tap a non-convective low level, which is typically less than 2,000 feet, wind shear is the three. So basically it's just telling you what it is. So the 3-digit height, hundreds of feet, and then the wind direction and the speed indicated. So I guess it's only reported if it's, I guess you'll only see if it's less than 2,000 feet or below, if there's some type of wind shear. I don't know if that answers I don't know if that helps or not. If it doesn't, let me know. Please let me know.
No, it does. It's basically indicating how high up the wind changes.
Yeah, I guess it really only shows if it's up until or 2,000 feet or below though. Oh, and then if you guys scroll down on that thing I sent you, it talks about that temporary. So temporary changes are expected for less than an hour in total, half of the period between the date and the hour beginning and the date and the ending time. So it kind of goes over those conditional languages right here. So definitely look over that. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I'm getting from like the wind shear though. I don't know why. I don't know like how they came up with that essentially. Like why it's only 2,000 feet or below, and like what happens if there was a wind shear at like 3,000 feet? It's not going to report it. I'm not too sure about that answer, but I can definitely, maybe Jaden knows a little bit more about it. And I'll reach out to him and I'll have an answer for you tomorrow morning or tomorrow before the class, like before we actually start with the class. If there's any more information on it.
Cool. Appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem. Anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns? If not, you guys are free to go. I'll give you back some time, but I'll also hang on a little bit if you have any questions or just want to chat. Enjoy your guys' night. See you again tomorrow for some more fun.
Thanks, Jen. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good night.
Bye, Jen.
Bye.
Yeah, it definitely made sense tonight. A lot.
That's good.
I don't know what it
tried
is,
to
but
keep
it was very clear. And like, I have no aviation experience, so I don't know if it's just you or what it is, but it felt like you made everything in layman's terms. So now me with no experience, I can understand what everything is, especially with the METAR and the TAF, how you broke down what everything, each little thing is. That made so much sense to me.
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm glad. Yeah, because I know sometimes like I get into my mind of like, oh, like, you know, you just as you like have like experience in it, you kind of just like think that everybody else does too. But I try to make it just like super simple, super easy to understand, but like to where like you're learning the information, you're retaining the information, and that you're understanding like what it is. It's just not like rote memory in a sense.
Mhm.
Because like when it comes to like the practical, when it comes to like actual like on the job training, like you have to kind of be, you have to know like what it is. You can't just like do, oh, rote memory type of thing. So I try breaking it down like that, and hopefully I was clear. But if not, then I'm like, oh, I'm more than happy to try like, you know, being a little bit more clear, but and helping out when needed. But I'm glad that it was good for you because I know
Yes,
like
and
the last couple of weeks in this class, like let me see, I was looking on the schedule, and I know like you guys learned a lot, like systems is a lot, performance is a lot, and that whole like what you're about to be learning with like the different like navigations and the different approaches. That's why I know Dalen probably has some really good resources, but I also will link everything down to like resource wise and like the classroom stuff, and I'll put my number in there as well. But I like to be able to, if I'm learning something brand new for the first time and it's a lot of information, I like to kind of dumb it down. So I have some good articles that when I was going through my instrument rating training, it really broke down the whole like navigation and stuff like that. That I'll definitely put in there because that's going to be that's a basically 80% of like dispatching is like knowing the navigations we have, seeing like, you know, what the weather's doing, reading the charts and everything like that. And it can be a lot. So I'll make sure tomorrow night to post everything that I know in there for you guys to make it very
yeah,
simple and
that was
clear.
because for me this is like a foreign language, and it's like even when I listen to how everybody else asks the question, I'm like, I have no idea what they're asking. I have no idea what they're talking about,
Aw.
and I just have to kind of like try to figure it out in a way.
Yeah.
But tonight was totally different. So thank you for that.
Oh yeah, I'm glad. Yay, awesome. Well, like I said, I'll definitely put my, I'll put my, I was gonna say I'll put my number in this message, but I'll put my number when we get off on here, into the classroom. This way, if you guys have any questions about something, like I'm free, available, FaceTime, whatever. But
And with the probability, the number that's after the 30 or the 40, is that a percentage? So would you say like 30% probability that between this time and this time, whatever the change is, or?
yeah, exactly. So just think about
Okay.
it as like if you're just watching like the weather station. I mean, I don't watch the weather station, but we've all heard it before. Like there's a probability of like 30% chance that this may occur. So that's basically what it's saying. It's like there's a probability of like 30% probability that this may happen, a 40% probability of this may happening. You'll never see like 50, 60, 70 or anything like that. It's always going to be 30 and 40. And I don't know how they got those numbers, but they did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Yeah, not a problem.
Have a
Have
good
a
night.
good night. Yeah, you too. Okay. Are you still there? Did you have a question, Cywar? Or is that Cywar? Is that how you say your name? I don't want to mispronounce it.